Hey guys, it's me. I'm in that circle there. And I thought I would bring us a little. Here, let me do it like this. I'm going to set my head up, my circle, close to where the face is there. So I thought, if we did a little loop like this is, what is this going on? Does that say 5 seconds or something? Yeah, 5-second loop. And hi, Post Silly, how's it going? And this is a really good part of my most viewed video. I'll tag it below here, and it's called First Face to Face Bigfoot Encounter, something like that. But it's my most viewed. You'd be able to find it under my under my channel pretty easily. There's lots of stuff going on in this picture. This is authentic totem pile of Bigfoot. Isn't it awesome, eh? Well, the reason why I'm picking this in particular, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this stuff over a little bit because that way I can still read your writing. Go a little bit closer to him again. So I want to point out a couple of things. You notice that stick right there that does that arch? Well, that stick helps our eyes be able to do some math. So keep that in mind. Okay, right on. Anyway, so that stick helps us do math. How does it help us do math? It helps us do math in our depth perception part of this. Because that stick might be very close to his cheeks and his mouth there. If you already make out the image very well, you can see two dark eyes. You can see the ridge in the nose in between the eyes. You can see the nose. And then that arch stick is in the way of us really being able to make out the mouth well. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying then, with some depth, because if you really finely watch and say you had this super zoom going and stuff like that, you might, if that stick is say a whole foot in front of him, and you see how my camera's doing this little movement here, we would be able to pick up then the difference between the black object behind and that shined up stick there. And those are points. Those are things that I just want you to be aware about so you can use your own thinking and stuff. Hey, sweetheart. Yeah. I'm just doing a live right now.
Oh, nice. Me and Matt just took Kobo for a walk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Yeah, it was fun.
Right.
Diggory went to put him, so he asked if we wanted to shake him.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah. Gonna have some dinner.
Cool.
Nice.
You see how I'm able to do this now?
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah, so see with this red dot right there?
Yeah.
I use that as my pointer. You see the guy in there? Do you see him right there? Like that's one of his eyes right there, and that's his other eye right there. Let me even do a closer zoom, guys. Get him bigger. There we go, that's better. It's a loop, so it goes out of focus for a second here. But you see that white thing go through his eyes, guys? That's what we're talking about here next. As soon as my daughter leaves, we're going, because what that does is that white thing, whatever that is, we're going to figure out in time. I've been trying to figure it out for a while here, but it at least accentuates the right eye of the being. So if you have any tough finding of him, as soon as you see that line come on for a second there, then that's him. So I'm going to just say goodbye to my daughter here. Love you. Everything's good?
Yeah.
Right on. So this is amazing right now, guys, where we are right here. So you get to see that thing. And I'm going to explain, I'm going to pull the picture of this guy up a little bit so we can get the understanding of what I want us to kind of understand about that white thing. Okay? Yeah, bye, baby girl. So like I was saying, we're getting to see right there. You see, I'm right in his eye. I'm gonna put this red dot. Oops, I'm gonna move it over a little bit more like that. My camera moves a little bit when I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm just gonna move it a little bit more. I want to just get above that white there. So now we get to see that where that white line is. And then another thing about it is, you notice how you get to see it down below? Watch. There, and then there. Okay, so now I'm going to bring down to approximately where we get to see it there. Somewhere right in there. Let's see when the timing is. It'll be around now. See? I'm going to pull my thing up just a little bit so I expose it a little bit better. But you get to see it down there. Now watch. Dook. You see that? And it is the same fall. And now this is the amazing part, because to some extent, I have to say, from way back at the beginning stages, I thought that white thing, what flickers in his eye there, could be actual needle from the tree. And because there is a lot of eye shine, the sun is behind me, and it's shining that direction, which is a helpful situation to be in. Anyways, I'll find it that way. Anyways, so yeah, like I said, I'm thinking lots of times, okay, that's a needle. A couple of times I came in close and I'm going, no, it's light in his eyes. That's a light in his eyes. And this was before I tell you or started talking about all the big light glowing perceptions, projections, and different understandings that I'm dumping on people's laps. Because it gets really heavy, the light thing. Okay, it gets very heavy, very big. It's going to take eons for people to want to believe it, let alone tune back a lot. Like Silly here, she's been doing a lot of, she does a fair amount of talking and stuff, so I kind of know where she's at. And so I recommend that for any of you guys. So let's get back onto this. So now all of a sudden what I decided to do one day was I had it up on YouTube, my first face-to-face Bigfoot encounter video, and I got it to this point right here. And on normal speed of the computer, I videotaped this page. This isn't it. This is an actual authentic copy. But I actually videotaped this little scene here. And then what I did was I went into I could probably do it right now well, I'd have to back up a little bit. But, hey, Matt. Good. And so with, here, let me just get my mind straight here. I don't have to be angry at that guy, do I? Just kidding around. Anyways, yeah. So I videotaped it. Then I went into editing for the videotape. And that flicker, let's see if we can catch it. What time is it on? Right in the very beginning there. So go back here. Did I already miss it? Yeah, I did. I think it might be right at the beginning. Whatever. I'm not going to be able to get it, am I? Might not have. Oh, let me try this. So, there we go. Yeah, sure. Put the numbers right in front of my face so I can't see the eye of my buddy. Okay, let's forget about that. So what I want to explain to you is when that light lights up in his eye right here, the pictures, I wish I would have taken the time to have them set here to the side. Let me put him right back in the right spot. So that's where the light up comes, just below the red dot there in his eye. But I get a frame. You see my hand there a little bit, right? I get a frame of that light just below whatever is on his forehead there. You see that little light up thing? See how it even changed there a little bit in shape. You notice that? and that little change there. So it's just, I think what's happening is it's just coming in. So what I believe I figured out in that little videotaping of this video, and you guys would be able to do it, is I got that light in 2 frames in his eye. Color change even in those 2 frames, in that thing that continued to almost look like that line, almost like it's attached to it, but it shows one example almost the full length, and then another example almost the full length, but a little bit down, color differences and everything. You really can tell that it's 2 light flashes. And then way down here, it's right around there is, but you know, when the thing's playing, obviously, but right around in that spot there is the other light. And you see this? That might be an eye. That might be an eye. Like when you, like, this is in a blurry section, but right down on this part here, I figured there might be eyes right here, and there might be a hand of somebody on there. Like, I actually at times figure those are fingers over somebody's head. And I don't know if you guys ever get into this. It's like they can really scrunch up their faces or something, whether it's just it looks like it or not. We're going to figure out all those things. I know a lot of people figure they really do have answers and stuff, and it's kind of like, you know what? There's a lot more answers than the few that you think you have when it really comes to these beings. So let's just keep being open. I'm not saying solid, other than that I'm saying solid they are here, solid they are in huge, unbelievable numbers. Let's push play on this. I guess I could have been doing that while we were talking a bit there, just so get more of the thing of that color drop down there. So try that out. You see that flash in behind him too? Because I tell you, if you don't know this, and I will tell you big time, that they do have a glowing light type energy from themselves in some ways. A lot of people have known, see that one in behind flashing a couple of times? It could be just light back there. It's not going to ever be a good enough picture where we get to see it very well. So let me do this where I'm going to not zoom so far back, but anyways, yeah, so let's do this one. This will be a cool one, really get you guys going. Check out this bug-eyed guy right down here. You might be already seen him. Well, actually, I'm going to bring it over more. Okay, so this is as far as I can bring it because of the setup. You see that bug-eyed guy right underneath me? I can zoom him in a little bit more. There we go, getting him in really good here. Like, what the frick is that, guys? You see him? Can almost look like little boobies for a moment. Pardon my French, but honestly, I think those are more of a bug eye. I've related with some stuff out there, and like I've even told you guys that there's things out here that mimic a lot of these looks. And there could be a guy there, and say he's a gray guy, and he's holding his hands up there in kind of the shapes of a couple of telescopes or something like that, and it gives this impression. That's how simple it is for them to distort the look. So when you start to know you've seen a few of these, which I got some stills of these guys, and or I believe of one of these guys, and in a couple of different pictures. So I'm really going to I'm going to put those on my community page. So if anybody really wants to stay hooked up with my stuff, well, let's see if I can do that right now. Go. Now go back to here. Go back to here. Go back to here. And then you go to my community page right here. And what you get to do is you get to come through here and you get to see different examples and stuff. And on this in particular example right here, this is the new video that I put up, you know, not very many, 71 views now, so it's bounced back up. I had uploaded it by an accident last night. I had the thing on automatic upload. I didn't mean to do that, but this video is just so loaded, guys. And then here's some pictures of the area. And what this one is this one's in a little bit different of a color tones than this one. I ended up realizing, and you didn't pick that good of a one that's very focused. I'll try better. I try better. Here's a longer shot, and I believe it is the same picture. You can see that kind of shoehorn. Whoops. What did I do there? Got to see that shoehorn branch under there. Yeah, so let me do this a little bit better and faster. So if you come through here, so this one was really cool, and I'm going to try to do this one again for you guys, where I just did this weird cropping, and it really helps you guys to start to move your eyes around on the page. There's a couple of beauties. That's the daughter right here that just said hello, and you see the goat that they're kind of rounding up there. You can find him in the movie Air Buddies at about 42 minutes or so at the barn scene in Air Buddies. The little, that's Bull. That was our old pet. And, when you see him in the movie there, the guy trainer who took him from me, he said he was an unbelievable specimen for actually being able to work while the human actors are working and stuff like that. Because you see him there. And when you see his head, he's got big horns on him and stuff too, right? So he's a big boy. Anyway, so what I want you to show here or see here is this is a mimic. And you know how we talk about how they mimic sounds and everything? They mimic a light. They mimic cuts. You see all these little cuts along on this part of the page here? Just all these little things. Get in close and look at those. And then look, you'll see that those are also within here, but these ones might be a little bit deeper and stuff. And it's all about a certain profile look. This picture, when you tap on it, let's try it, becomes bigger, I think. Yeah, there. So you get more of the picture, and you get to see more going on there and stuff. And, messes are always different from these guys. Obviously, these wood chips were done a long time ago. But if that log never moved or anything, some of those wood chips would be still sitting there. You would be amazed how long wood chips can, they're just wood chips. But these big guys like to take the wood chips with them. In most cases, they'll leave a certain amount for examples. And what you do is you can pick up those wood chips. And I'll do a picture of those pretty quick again. And those wood chips, like the bigger chunks that come out of the biting there, they're kind of interesting because they almost look a little bit like, say, you see how it's cut out and it would be kind of coved there. So the piece that they take out still has some roundish, kind of covish feel and look to it. And it's got on an average 3 or 4 times 2, almost coming from 2 different directions. I'll see if I can show you, like the piece of wood is like this, and almost like what I think is happening. I don't think I'm right, but it just makes sense to describe it. It's almost like the piece is like this, where someone comes in and goes, starts to bite it out and goes with those sets of claws. The biting thing, I think I'm wrong. I think it's all claw work or whatever. But it kind of gives a description, because when you're looking at the piece and you flip it over on one side and then you take it and you flex it like that, you can see where those usually 3 or 4 slice marks are. And they're the razor slicing sharp that we know. So right here, yeah, that's just a little, I was sitting on the road there and I just cleaned up a whole little pile of little piece of glass even in there and raw stuff, just showing people how they, oh darn. How they do that kind of stuff. And we'll get down some better looks here. And this is just a really cool picture. You notice they're all pointing the same way and stuff. This is the north end of Vancouver Island. I was close to the end of the island there. I was putting on thousands of miles looking around, just trying to figure things out. I've gotten somebody telling me that you can see some lookers in there. I've never taken the time to look. Got 9 thumbs up on there. But right here is real history of these beings, guys. This is a slice of a tree. Here, let's tap on this one. This is a slice of a tree. Like, this is the tree still, what's left of it, and then it goes into the ground right there. You can kind of see the tree's taken away. This was Actually, it wasn't taken. It doesn't matter. But anyways, when you actually, can I zoom that? No. When you actually get into these different marking details on there, you really get to understand, at least at my level, I kid you not, you get to understand how they're doing it with their claws. Like this. Like this is a piece of art in its own right. And anybody who's ever worked in a clay room or something like that, it's kind of funny. How come it doesn't go like fill up the whole screen or something, eh? You can just see all kinds of different finger details in here. And then also you can see stuff where you figure, okay, that's got to be from the claws. And yeah, pushing and okay, so those, yeah, I'm on the questions there. Now I got to go all the way back. This is kind of a silly thing. Let's go all the way down to the bottom because I want to show you guys something real interesting that I bet you none of you ever go this far and look. Some of my pictures I find are pretty awesome for, okay, so they ended up putting them back a little further there. But, you know, you can see if, like, this one here, I figure is just, it's incredibly awesome, personally. Come on, what's going on there? Okay, there we go. So, if I go like this, and I put the red dot on his eye like that, and I put the red dot on his eye like that, and I come down to his little, what looks like a little turned up snouty nose, and then maybe his mouth and stuff. As long as he's not also holding a little guy right in front of his face, because that's one of the habits they do. Anyways, you get to see stuff going on here, you get to see stuff in here, you get to see stuff over here, you get to see stuff over here. It's a picture that's really quite loaded and stuff, but you know, a number of pictures actually, I got them in a number of different frames where you can make out this guy in a few of them. And this is the ultimate one, and I don't know if you get that, but that is very, very cool. I was a ways back from him. And guess I'm going to go all the way to the beginning again. And, you know, take the time to go through this, guys, and read, you know, my comments. Here's some of the curvature cutting that they do. And the curve in the other piece of wood there isn't the same as that, but look at the coping on that, eh? And then look at this. Like some people will be going, I don't know, I don't trust you, whatever type thing. Then look at this one with the coping on that. And I know where I was. I know what was going on. You even get into the beveling of this piece, the bark right there. And then you get the beveling of that. And you see how different pieces might have shredded off and different things like that. There's ways when you're on site to really get your full look. This here, if you're wise to it, you come into the same coving cutting, but much in a very small, like these two stems more or less coming out of a tree here. And they're around 6 feet off of the ground. So I think you can even see these maybe on a video that says beavers can't fly, something like that. And that's quite a long time ago. And then this one here is once again, that's them there. Done this. This was a real amazing piece, this wood here. Because this one, while so much of our river, along the edges of our river, huge rocks falling in, you know, all these different water issues and stuff like this. This stump, this log floated. This was here for probably somewhere in the range of 2 years. It might have been a little over 2 years, but for sure through 2 winters. So while we had so much mayhem of everything else, this sitting right beside the bridge, this log, you can see how some of it goes down into here or whatever. and it goes down into the water. Like, it was a pretty cool thing. Anyway, so you got to see this shiny like that. Then I got to come back and you get to see it dull. And if I remember right, there was a little bit of some addition onto it. So that's going in my memory. Here's the sand prints. You know, it's, you gotta just trust that this is how I found them, and if you want to, and they were approximately 7 foot to 7.5 feet, center to center or toe to toe, heel to heel. Alrighty, guys. Oh, and then here. Oh yeah, this one's pretty. Oh yeah, this is the bug-eyed guy. See him right there. So this is you know, the video we were just watching. It's just a, and here's the other half of it. I just did it in 2 parts. And then here's, you see that little head there? It's probably as big as this circle I'm showing right now. If it's a head, eh? And if it is a head, there he is again. And this can be him again. Watch this, and at one point you're gonna think, does this guy, is he putting his arms up like that, okay? So watch, this is the yellow circle. And then even down here and stuff, so in some of these things, you gotta, to be able to find is pretty tough. So this is the one. So I figure this is a guy that's watching me, because this camera goes on so many different angles, gets this twig all on different angles, and this guy's popping his head over so many times. And right here kind of looks like somebody doing some arching with their arms or something. I don't know. Wings? I don't know. Well, there he is right there. And this is how I was doing it. I was flipping through the pictures, and one of them, I could just make out that little gray thing. And I skipped them, and I went through some more pictures, and he ended up popping up again. This one I just find pretty interesting and stuff. There's obviously lots of action over here and stuff going on. Right there. And you have to know that you're looking beyond all these twigs and those sticks and get further back in there. It takes time and practice to get your eyes working good. Here is another long time back scene of that tree. You know, that tree that, you know, near the front there, that evergreen where a lot of them pile up under there and stuff. And this is a really good picture of them where there's a big pile. I think I might have done a color. Oh, you know, I'm not going to go all the way back. I'm done, very done, guys. So thanks so much for stopping by. Let me do this. And but I can't scroll them. Yeah, what is the creature in the bottom right? You can see little bitty toes. Cool. Who knows what they are, eh? We'll figure them all out eventually. Thanks so much for the thumbs up, the sharing, whatever you guys do. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm in a lot of pain actually doing this today. So, but I felt guilty because for 3 days or something like that, I said I would do this video 3 days back or whatever. And I'm just feeling guilty. So, or I was feeling a bit guilty. So I thought I'd put in a half an hour. And now I'm going. Peace out.